Okay, hi everyone. It's really nice to meet you. My name is Lisa and I'm the Student Success Manager at Spanish VIP. It's nice to finally meet you all.
Hi.
Hi, Luisa.
Ah,
Sí.
Okay,
hola,
so
hola.
hola, es un placer. Okay, so before we go ahead and start with our interview, I would like to know if someone else who will be joining us today.
I think this is everyone.
This is everyone. Okay, so we
Toda
can
la
start.
familia.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, before we go ahead and start with our interview, I would like to say thank you on behalf of Spanish VIP. We are glad to hear that you are happy to help families like you better understand the value of a new language and cultural enrichment. Really, really thank you.
De nada.
Ah, de nada.
Okay, so well, I am just curious. Like, how did you decide to start taking Spanish classes together? Like, how the idea came up?
Tony?
The idea came up because uh, Nick and Angela, my brother and his fiance, are getting married in September, and Angela's family is bilingual. They speak fluent Spanish and they speak English. And since we will all become a family, I thought it would be a nice exercise for those of us who are less bilingual to learn more Spanish ahead of the wedding so that we could talk in both languages.
Okay.
So
It's great.
Tony gave us the classes as a gift, a Christmas gift for the whole family.
Amazing. Yes, now I remember. This was like a
Sí,
special
sí,
gift
yeah.
for Christmas. That was a surprise
Yes,
for the family that you are eight, right?
it was a great surprise. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And well, what were your goals in learning the Spanish language? What you were expecting to study here? The what was the level that you wanted to have?
I think all of us have taken classes at some point, or Ange speaks more, fluently than us, but we all had different levels of learning already. So it was kind of a reminder of classes we took a long time ago, and just to familiarize ourselves with the language, so we can try to understand, speak it a bit better than we did before.
Yeah. I think Nick is right. We all are at different levels. John is the only one who didn't have any Spanish at all before we started classes. But Danny did a great job of making the classes interesting and fun for everybody. Tony, well, aside from Ange, who speaks pretty fluently, and Tony, who has a very good grasp of Spanish, the rest of us are sort of on a learn as you go kind of mode. And Danny did a great job in including everyone and helping everyone to feel like they weren't waiting for someone to catch up, or they weren't so far behind that they couldn't enjoy the classes. They were great every week.
Okay, that's good to know. And related to that, yes, I know that we find like some challenges and also we have your goals. And I think that another thing important for us as a Spanish VIP is that the students learn that they enjoy during the learning process. So I think I would like to know what was like the thing that you enjoyed the most, like your favorite thing about learning Spanish, but especially in family, that there was like a something curious case.
Yeah, I think you were able to integrate it into our day-to-day use, in terms of greetings, in terms of family members, in terms of how we might interact in a situation without a high level of, knowledge of the language. But you also focused, I think, for some of us that, not me, but others that are a little more experienced with the language, you helped us differentiate masculine, feminine, all the verb structures. So you did a really good job of taking us from the basics into, things that we weren't that familiar with, independent of our knowledge, which I think was a real challenge for you, but you made it fun and were able to structure it in a way that was productive for all of us and enjoyable.
Yeah, and
Yes.
taught that too. Like someone that does speak Spanish fluently, like I don't know how to teach anybody how to, like I wouldn't even know where to start. So like it was very productive in the way that you teach it and how fun you were with it and being so like open to our craziness and everything.
Yes, thank you. I also really enjoy the process because as I told you before, it was like a group class, but it was also like working with a family. And I think that I really love about this is that I found this space, not just like learning structures and even not just like learning the language, but also like a different space for you as a family to share. For example, I remember some classes where you also like kind of remember some stories like like the Santa Claus and chocolate. Do you remember that story?
Yes.
I really loved this story. And also I remember that class about when we were learning some irregular verbs in present that we did like a kind of what do you prefer? And I remember that Nick said that he preferred speaking than listening, and that all of you were like, "What? How is that? That's so true." So it was like
They're
also in
liars.
space, there was like space like, to share. So do you think that these classes also like work for that, to share and to know more about you as a family now that I think that most of you like live in different places. So does this space work for that also?
I think so. I mean, especially the time that we took it with the pandemic separating us, it not only gave us a new space to hang out as a family and catch up about, our day-to-day lives. But yeah, I think that in answering basic questions about what we do every day, we revealed stuff about each other that maybe we forgot or maybe we never really knew, and it allowed a sense of discovery and to form even more bonds. You form even more of a connection with people your whole life.
Yeah, I think it felt very natural, and I think that's what you experienced. Is even though we were getting together, via the internet, when we get together physically, it's very much like it was on Saturday mornings, where something will come up and we can laugh about it, and we can poke fun at each other, and we can talk about situations and kind of personality, or drunkle, which is Duncan's new name as an uncle. Talk about alcohol or whatever our specific sort of characteristics are. I think we were very much ourselves on the lessons, but in that we were learning Spanish and learning to apply our conversations in a different way. So I think it was very natural, and for us that was a benefit, because we wouldn't have been getting together at 10 o'clock on Saturday mornings if it wasn't for VIP Spanish and Tony's gift.
That's true.
And that it was, I think one thing that really made it as effective and successful and fun as it was that you guys were able to accommodate us at a time that we were, everybody lives such different lives, even though we only live 20 miles apart. Everyone's on different schedules and different this and that, and moving and having babies and whatnot. And I think the fact that you guys could schedule the curriculum at a time when we could come fully focused and ready and dedicated made it that much more successful, because I could just imagine if we had to do it at night on a weeknight, or even now, we could only get half the class here. So the flexibility that you guys offered was, I think, key to the success of the class.
Definitely. And one of the other things I would say is that it inspired, well, two things I would say. One is outside of the class, we now text each other in Spanish a lot, on our.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We, and if we have to use Google Translate sometimes to help us figure, we're still learning, we're still learning. And for me personally, it inspired me to download some Spanish language audiobooks and to get these Spanish flashcards. It reminded me how much I love learning Spanish when I was in school, which was a long time ago, and that I was good at it. And so I wanted to learn again,
Yes, amazing to hear. I think that one of the most important things about the lessons about in Spanish VIP is that our lessons in general are very personalized and engaging lessons, because even when we have an established curriculum, the student can also feel free to provide the teachers with suggestions to make sure that the lessons are more personalized. And even you don't need to say anything, because, for example, as you have noticed, Danny, it was able to adapt the lessons to your proclivity. So your teacher at Spanish VIP always will create like a weekly plan according to your level, to your preference, to your needs, choosing the best topics from the curriculum, but also adding perfect content like just for you. Additional resources like podcasts, texts, homeworks, activities. Like, who said that learning had to be boring? So
yeah.
do the classes more engaging, because when you're an adult, you have lots of things to do, especially when you have tight schedules and you're learning as a family, as you were. So try to find the perfect space, and maybe at the end of the week that you're a little tired and all of this, you don't want to stay there and see someone teaching you like with a very low mood, like, okay, now we are going to learn this and this. So someone who is very active helps you a lot to do the classes more engaging. So we have been talking just about good things about the lessons. So now I would like to know, what did you find challenging about the lessons?
Um,
I mean, I think, so go ahead, Mom.
No, I was going to say, I think the Zoom format worked really well. We had 4 different households, and sometimes even in the household, we were split up on different devices. But I feel like that worked really well, and that Danny was able to use like the breakout rooms and the other things. So I think that worked out well. For me personally, because I'm kind of an old school person, no pun intended, I liked it when Danny asked us to do homework, and then she came back and helped us fix it. Like there was no grading per se, but she came back and said, okay, this is all, this part is really good, but here you need to use this. And I really like that. And I almost think we could have done a little more of that. But that's me. I don't know if anyone else felt like it was the right amount because they were too busy to worry about homework.
So would you recommend taking classes as a family to others who are thinking about trying them?
100%. Yeah. I think it was just fun. It was fun. It was non-competitive. It was we felt like we were learning, but we were also spending time with each other in this informal sort of Zoom world. And we got to meet somebody who was great, who lived somewhere different than us, who told us about what it was like where she lived, who, was interested in our perros y gatos. And just, I mean, we all looked forward to Saturday mornings, for sure.
With fear for me. No, echoing on that, I think that, it's a totally different way to learn. The reality is none of us have ever been in a learning environment as a group because of our age and our positions in life and what have you. And I think that it brought us together in a non-confrontational and fun way. I would definitely highly recommend it. I enjoyed it not because of only what I learned and some of the language that I now have, but also just, to share time with family is valuable to me. And it gave us an opportunity to do that. And, Danny was a great facilitator and teacher, and her attitude, I think got us on Saturdays got us up for Saturday and for the classes, as well as, what we had coming in life in general. So I think time with family is invaluable. And in that regard, I would highly recommend it.
And speaking of invaluable, as the person who paid for it, I think you guys could probably charge a little bit more for what you're offering, because I think that while I was happy at the price that you quoted, and I think I work in e-commerce, I work in sale, like shopping and classes, and and you see what these platforms like Masterclass charge, for less tailored, specific curriculum. And I just, I don't know who your primary market is, but if it's people in the United States like us, I think you could experiment with charging more premium, at least on private classes.
Thank you so much for the suggestion. Of course, we are thinking about it.
Take what it's worth. Take it, not for us if we come back, but for everyone else.
Good strategy, Tony.
Okay, now what about Angela, for example? Would you recommend it?
Yes, definitely. Like I said, anytime people know that I speak Spanish, like, oh, teach me. And like, I don't know how to teach you Spanish. So like, I learned some things too that I didn't know. Like, just like I know how to conjugate verbs, I know how to speak Spanish, but there were some things that I learned and some words that I didn't know, and I think it's very helpful because I'm not a teacher and I don't know how to even begin to teach the language. And I think it was very successful for everyone.
Okay, it's amazing to hear because if everyone who wants to learn as a family always is wanting to know, like, okay, how it looks like, So what do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I think everyone kind of hit it on the head. It was a good experience for us to have something, especially, when we weren't able to see each other. So for people who don't live close by to each other, to have a way to connect that's not, everyone loves getting on the phone and talking to their family, but to have a different reason to do it, and also a set time, a common goal, I think, really got us excited and gave us a good way to spend quality time together, where we were all, bettering ourselves and hopefully coming out of it with the goal that Tony had set for getting the classes. So I think it went really well.
Okay, it's great to hear. So how much do you think that you improved by having one class a week? Would you recommend taking more, or was one class per week sufficient for your goals?
I think we could have learned more with more classes, but I think in our specific case, it probably would have been too much to try to fit 2 into 1 week. But for those who might be more committed or have less, going on within 8 people or so who are taking the class, I think they probably, as Tony said, maybe there's one class a week for review and one class a week to learn, and then you push that forward to the next week and the next week, and you're not having to split, the hour and a half or 2 hours between those two things. Maybe that's the way to kind of push everything forward a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I think with us, it was, we approached this with a very low-key, non-stress attitude from the beginning. We wanted it to be fun. We wanted to learn, but none of us wanted to feel like this was a burden coming, on a Saturday morning. And we never felt that way. It inspired me, as I said, to want to learn more. And I think personally, if I were going to if I were going to try to learn more outside of the family situation, I would definitely come to Spanish VIP to join a different class that was maybe meeting every day or maybe meeting 2 or 3 times a week, and progress that way. And I may still do that. But the nice thing about this was it got us into, like I said before, remembering what it was like to learn Spanish, to remember that we used to be good at it, and to inspire us to continue on our own if we want to. But with the family, I think it's very it's going to be very specific to each family and what their goals are, in a 3-month period of time. No, I don't think anybody who's coming in at all the different levels that we're in are going to significantly get so much better in 3 months, meeting once a month or once a week. But there may be families who have a more specific goal and who are willing to commit more time and effort to that.
Yeah, and we went back and forth, Lou, in the beginning, and you were very clear that one class a week will be, is fewer than what you normally offer. But I think objectively stepping away, thinking about how it all went down, like we probably would have learned less, no more or less, had we done more classes, because I just am not certain for what we needed. People would have showed up more often than we could get them to show up. And importantly, I think everybody did learn something in each class, and we were able to build on that just from having one class a week, even if some went slower than others. Everybody took something away, and for the purposes of becoming, I think if we wanted to boil down a goal, it was that we would all feel more comfortable speaking in Spanish, even if we're not speaking correctly, but we would feel more comfortable engaging in the language. And I think that we achieved that goal, even with just once a week, because we were doing it every week and we felt more comfortable just saying the words and maybe saying them wrong or learning the right way. And I think that ultimately that is what I wanted, and if I wanted us to come out fluent, then we probably would have taken 3 classes a week. But I felt that it was more important for us to develop a familiarity with the way to speak that would allow us to go to a party with Angela's father, and if he's trying to explain something in English, we could be like, how about in Spanish, and see where we can get, and I think that we got there with this regimen. So I would say that the program is effective enough if you're really just looking for more confidence in the ability to start speaking Spanish, that you could do it once a week and still learn something.
Great.
Thank you so much.
By the way, I was just watching to the dogs and talking about the methodology, in family, in private classes, family, even with the dogs that sometimes leave, the meeting and left like the dog, learning Spanish. So what do you think about, do you think that it felt like more engaging taking the Spanish classes in group rather than, like separate times, like individually, make it like funnier.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely has its advantages. I think if you're trying to learn Spanish as a second language and be, totally proficient at it, since everybody learns differently in a different pace, you're probably better off in a more individual and focused environment. If you're trying to learn it to improve your, familiarity and your ability to improve just your own personal level, I enjoyed this environment personally because I really don't plan to learn a second language and am not that committed to it. Not that it's not important, it's just not that important to me at this point in my life. I enjoyed it because it had other aspects that I could benefit from, other than just focusing on learning a language, on learning Spanish. But that's, from where I come from. And I think Tony knew that when he put this together. He and Liz could go take Spanish classes and learn Spanish and take that to a whole nother level, but that wasn't what our intent was. If that's your intent, I don't, that's not what we're looking to get out of it. And the dogs actually did learn Spanish. We now give them commands at the house. They don't listen to them in English and they don't listen to them in Spanish, so they
Yes.
picked it up perfect.
Okay, it's really nice to hear that you all have been enjoying your Spanish lessons with us in different ways with different goals, but at the end of the day, you enjoyed the Spanish lessons and enjoyed the time with the family, because family is one of the most important things in our life.
Yes.
So finally, I would like to know, what would you say to someone thinking about signing up as a student or as a family for Spanish VIP? What would you say to me?
Ask for Danny.
Aww. Thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would say be clear about what your goals are as a group. Be clear about how much you want to learn and how focused you are on, I want to be able to speak conversationally with someone by the end of this class. And just make sure that that you are specific about that, because I think you need to set the right expectation with the people who considering taking the class, and then manage to that expectation. We had an expectation. I think Danny went far beyond it because we didn't know who our instructor was going to be and whether it would end up being fun or whether it would end up being more like a very serious classroom learning experience. And this was perfect for us. And as long as you have the ability to be flexible with your families and to provide what they need, again, I'll go back to saying, I think the format was perfect. The only thing I would say is, we did have to keep logging out and logging back in on Zoom because you had the 30-minute limitation. If your company could get a license, so that you didn't have to do that. It broke up the flow a little bit. It wasn't really that significant, but it interrupted a little bit. But yeah, I would say if you have a family, as long as you understand what they're looking to learn, and that's what I would say to anybody, be clear about what you want to do and how you want to come out of this at the end of the time period, then I think this is a wonderful way to do it.
Thank you so much. It's amazing to hear.
Yeah, I think that this course, I would recommend it to anyone, and I would recommend, I think one thing about this course that I haven't taken a lot of online classes, but like I said, I cover them a lot. And I think one thing that's really nice about this course is that there's human touch. Like, you guys are very accessible. you customized the format to the best of your ability for us. It felt nice to be able to work with real people to customize a program that I knew would work so well for my family and still learn something from it, you know? So like you guys were experts in helping me craft the right rhythm and curriculum based on what our needs were. And we're able to kind of be like, okay, well, this is, you know, if you're going to do it once a week, you should do it for an hour and a half. And if you're going to do it, you know, and then you knew, you know, you took the information we gave you. Someone has only studied French, someone was raised by Spanish speakers, and put together a curriculum that felt very personal. And so I think that with anything in life, the more tailored an experience can be, the more, the better, you know, the more effective it's going to be, the more memorable, the more long lasting. And so I think that this service really stands out for its ability to meet its students where they are and works seemingly to make whatever program they need work for them in that moment. And for that, it's worth every penny, because that just doesn't happen everywhere.
Yeah, I would say if you actually like your family members and you want to spend more time together and you're looking for a different environment to spend it in, this was one of the best experiences we've had as a family. And we've had really good ones, to be honest. We're lucky to have that. But if you're looking for another venue to spend time with your family and enjoy yourselves, I'd highly recommend it. Danny did a tremendous job and allowed us to be ourselves and to have some laughs and learn in the process. It didn't feel like we were at school, you know.
Thank you so much. Well, I am more than glad to hear that you all enjoyed our lessons, and you know that all of our efforts in bringing you with an excellent service and having a great time during the lessons, you know, were like the specific things that we wanted to do were finally the things that we did. So I am more than happy to hear that you all enjoyed your Spanish lessons as a family and enjoying being part of the Spanish VIP family. So it was really nice to meet you all finally. And well, I hope that you can come back in the future very soon with us.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of us might be interested in taking your offer of 2 months of classes, but we might have to wait and figure out a time that makes the most sense for the most people, just because so much is in flux right now.
¡Ay, qué lindos! Oh.
Our other two of our other classmates.
And now we have another classmate to bring in.
Awesome! Yeah, he wants to come as well.
Right. You probably know some.
I showed them the video.
Oh, you did?
No, see, was so beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you all. It seems like we're going to get cut off. So before we do, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
My pleasure.
Guys,